All right, now look at the title of this op-ed from Newt Gingrich. It's on foxnews.com. California may elect a Republican governor. Incredible as that sounds.
Rubbish.
Yes, it is. Come in. Fox News contributor Karl Rove. Well, what do you make of that? I mean, I will eat my hat, but I'm prepared to be encouraged by this development. What say you?
Well, it's an uphill climb. They have a jungle primary out there, which means that everybody, Republican and Democrat alike, runs in one primary. The latest polling shows the lieutenant governor, Gavin Newsom, in the lead. He's followed by the former mayor of Los Angeles, Anthony Villaraigosa, and then in third place is the Republican, Cox, John Cox, a businessman, but close to Villaraigosa. Now, there are several options here. One is that we end up with Newsom and Villaraigosa in the general election, two Democrats. That's what the top two vote getters, regardless of party, go into the general election. Or it could be that Cox continues his upward movement. Villaraigosa appears to be dwindling a little bit, and he passes him by the time of the primary, and we end up with Newsom versus Cox, in which case we could have sort of what we've seen on the East Coast, where in deep blue states like Massachusetts or New Jersey or Maryland, that the voters say, you know what, we need to have an adult who is serving as a little bit of a restraint on the worst impulses of the Democrats. So we're going to elect a Charlie Baker in Massachusetts or a Chris Christie in New Jersey or a Larry Hogan in Maryland and have a Republican governor to sort of balance things out and rein in the excesses.
But you think it's very much a long shot at this point. I got it. Okay.
Well, I think it's an uphill climb. I don't know. I want to say that it's possible simply because, look, Cox has got some money. There are certainly, I mean, there are more than 1 out of every 5 voters in the state is a Republican. So you could make the case that he could end up being in the runoff with Newsom, and then it's a question of, can he make the case? You want to have a sane and sensible person in charge of our government as opposed to all the crazies that are running loose in Sacramento. But it's a tough slog, but it happens elsewhere in the country. One problem for him is there's a second Republican who's now today getting 7% of the vote in the most recent poll, running to 6, 7, 8%. If he were to sort of dwindle, those votes, I suspect, would naturally go to Cox.
This morning, Florida's governor, Republican Rick Scott, he declared that he's running for the Senate seat held by Democrat Senator Bill Nelson. You think he's got a shot?
I do. I think he's got an excellent shot. Look, he's been a good governor, and he has worked the state assiduously. He's paid attention to his job. We saw the contrast last fall during the hurricane. There was the governor in command, making decisions, warning people to take action, and was everywhere and was seen and heard and was right there in the middle of it all. And Bill Nelson looked a little distant, a little out of touch, and not really connected to it. And yeah, I think Rick Scott's been a good 2-term governor of Florida. He's paid attention to the job. He's got a lot of accomplishments he can point to. And in a state that Donald Trump won, albeit narrowly, I think he's got an excellent shot.
Both sides will spend $100 million. What do you think?
Oh, easily. Oh, easily. And Scott's got a deep pocket of his own, but yes, both sides are going to spend a lot of money. Remember, this is the 3rd most populous state in the union after Texas and California, and it's got a huge number of people, and it's long, and it's got a very long panhandle and a very long peninsula, and it's incidentally the only state in America where the further south you go, the more north you are. Now, think about that a moment. You can figure it out.
Well, it'll take me a while, Carl, and I don't really have
all those
that much
people
time.
from Miami, all those people in Miami who are from New York and New Jersey and Palm Beach and Broward County, and up north it is south. It's the northern part is got a lot in common with lower Alabama and lower Georgia than it does with lower Florida.
Yeah, you've been to Pensacola recently? It's all good.
I used to have a place up there. We called it the Redneck Riviera, but the tourism people say we've now got to call it the Emerald Coast.
Yes.
All right, Carl, we'll let you go. Thanks so much, Karl Rove. We'll see you again soon. Thank you.